In this video, I'm going to show you how to add books to your pre-order queue. What that means is you've been collecting orders from parents, families online with your yearbook store as pre-orders. And they've been collecting in a queue that in the springtime or whatever time you order your yearbooks, you will send all of those to production or to the printers to have them printed and delivered to your school. However, you may be collecting orders offline at school with checks and order forms and that kind of thing. And you want to add those books to your pre-order queue so those can go off to the printers with all the other orders. So I'm going to show you how to do that in a couple of different ways. The first way I will show you is to go to your store. So from your store, and I'm just going to click into the store from Creator Studio here. Sign into your store as yourself, as the advisor. And once you're signed in as the advisor in your store, you have these extra tools here. And one of those is order in bulk, which is what you want to do here. So let's say you have had 40 offline orders. You've had 40 in-school orders that you want to include now into your pre-order queue. So I'm going to click on order in bulk here. And regardless of what I set my price to, that my customers get, because I'm the advisor, I get the cost of the book, so I'm only paying the cost. So if I marked up the price, maybe I marked it up to $50 for everyone to pay, I'm only going to get charged $43.95 here per book. So I'm going to put in the 40 quantity that I want. And now I have a couple options here to place my order. I can go ahead and pay for these books right now, my total being $1,800. And I can pay by credit card or I can pay by PayPal at this point. Or I can choose to pay later. Now, of course, you'll be responsible to pay this balance at the time that you release these orders to production. And at that time, you can choose to pay by credit card or by PayPal or by an invoice that is sent to you, and then you can pay by check from that way as well. Keep in mind, however, that if you do have money owed at the time that you send your orders to production, the books will not go to the printers until that invoice or that money is paid in full. So I will choose pay later and will owe this balance at the time I release to production later when I'm ready to order all the books. So I just place order here. It didn't require a credit card or anything by checking that box. And now the order is complete. I have an order number. So if I go back to the store and I manage the sales of that book, I now see that I have a negative profit there. And that's because of that order that I just made. Now, once I am ready to submit to production, and you can see the other video for how to do that, I can then request that invoice or pay that balance at that time. Keep in mind, however, that if you do have money owed at the time that you send your orders to production, the books will not go to the printers until that invoice or that money is paid in full. The other way for getting all of those offline in-school orders into the pre-order queue is to request a voucher code. And the way you do that is go to a milestonegroup.com, resources, yearbook support, and in our knowledge base, search for request invoice. find the knowledge base article called Yearbook Order Invoicing Process. And at the bottom of that article is the link to request an invoice if you're a US customer or if you're Canadian. Open that link up, and in this, go ahead and fill this form out and submit it. And what that's doing is requesting to us that you want an invoice for a specific number of books. So for example, those 40 orders that you got in school and you want to add to the pre-order queue, fill in this order form, we get it, and then we send back an invoice to you that you can then pay. Once you pay that invoice, we'll send back a voucher code. Once you get that voucher code, go to Creator Studio, go back to your store, like how I just showed before, and click on Order in Bulk, put in your quantity, and then last time we clicked on Pay Later. In this example, you're going to put in that voucher code that we would have sent you after you paid the invoice. Type in the voucher code in here, apply it. That will apply the balance of that voucher code to the balance of your order, and then place order. And that will add those orders to the queue to be released to production, and you won't owe any additional money because you paid that invoice prior to receiving that voucher code. And that's how, in 2 ways, you can take those offline orders and add them to your pre-order queue to be released to production when you're ready.